What is up, my people? How you guys doing? This is going to be a pretty cool topic just because a lot of folks have never heard of the concept of reverse dieting. Maybe some of you have, but this is going to be new for a lot of you guys. So glad that you've joined. If you are watching this replay, what's up, replay watcher? Go ahead and type replay right now in the comments and let me know that you popped in and joined me for this video. So the main topic of our discussion today is reverse dieting. What is up, Josh Pickett? Pass a Pickett. Reverse dieting. If you've ever heard of reverse dieting before, say yep down there in the comments. Reverse dieting, what is that? It's basically the concept of gradually increasing your calories over a period of weeks in order to gradually increase your metabolic rate. So here's the reality. When you eat in a caloric deficit, which means that when you eat less calories, right, for an extended period of time, your metabolism will slow down in order to accommodate for the deficit that you've been eating in. When you're eating in a surplus, your metabolism will speed up and accommodate for that. A lot of folks, when they diet, when they're trying to lose weight over the course of months and years, they go through these different phases of dieting, right? Diet to diet to diet. And so what happens is after a period of time, your metabolism gets really slow. It makes it really hard for you to keep the weight off, especially if you are on a diet and then off the diet, you find yourself losing 10 pounds, gaining 10 pounds, losing 20 pounds, gaining 20 pounds. And a lot of that can be attributed to the reality that your metabolic rate drops every time that you go into a caloric deficit because of that diet. And then when you come off of that diet, your intake increases beyond what your new lowered metabolic rate is, and therefore you end up putting yourself in a caloric surplus, thus gaining all of that weight back. Not only this, but one of the things that reverse dieting does is it bridges the gap between being in a fat loss phase, which this whole concept, it really comes, we use this a lot in the Free and 3 method pretty heavily in Team Fitison. What is up, dude? What's up, Crystal? We got some awesome people watching. You're gonna have phases of fat loss, and you have your maintenance phases, and then you have your fat loss phases. When you are going from a maintenance phase where you're eating the amount of calories that your body just needs, right, based off of your height, your age, gender, activity level, and all that. When you go from a maintenance phase down to a fat loss phase, that's the normal, that's what most people understand as a diet, right? You gradually lower your calories, and as you lose weight, you lower them a little bit more, blah, blah, blah. Well, at some point, what you have to do is stop lowering your calories and doing more exercise because you begin to stress your body out, hormones get thrown out of whack, metabolism's all slow, all kinds of things happening, and you stop being a healthy person. It's time to go back to a maintenance phase. Well, the maintenance phase is not something that is usually going to require you to eat an amount of calories that is far more, 600, 700, 800. Sometimes I've seen 1,000 calories more than what you're eating in a fat loss phase. So we need to gradually get to that point. It's just like getting to the second floor of a building. You don't just walk up on the first floor and say, I'll just jump up there, right? That would be very stressful. It'd be very hard for you to do. You want to give your body a chance to adjust. Again, the body is a very adaptive organism. So reverse dieting enables us to gradually get ourselves back up to where we're eating the amount of calories that our body needs. And what that does is it gradually increases your metabolic rate. So reverse dieting is a tool that I use in the Free and 3 method. We use this in our coaching program, and I encourage you to use as well too. For those of you who feel like you probably don't eat enough, it really does help to reverse diet because psychologically it's hard to wrap your brain around eating the amount of calories that you should be eating for most folks, right? I've been doing this for a long time. Most folks, when I tell them how many calories they really should be eating, right, they're like, well, that's way more than I'm used to. And frankly, at first, it can be a little bit uncomfortable if you expect yourself to just bump up 500, 600, 700 calories. So gradually increasing the calories over a course of 6 to 8 weeks, maybe a little more, it depends on how long it takes your body to adjust, is a much better way to go about that. Just giving yourself the chance to adapt and to kind of wrap your brain around eating more and figure out what you need to do in order to ensure you get the meals that you need in and the calories that you need in on a daily basis. Okay, so that's reverse dieting. That's the background of what we're talking about today. When should you do reverse dieting? When should you implement reverse dieting? Reverse dieting is best going to be implemented for when you have been in a fat loss phase or have been eating in a caloric deficit for 8 to 12 weeks or more, right? And again, some of this is going to be based off of just how long it takes your body to adapt. There's some variable there, but I want to keep it simple for today. When you've been in a caloric deficit for 12 weeks, I would say, or more, it might be a good time for you, especially if you are used to not eating enough calories for your body. It's a good time to go ahead, like if you've come out of a maintenance phase, gone into a fat loss phase, you've been there for about 12 weeks, you're going to start to notice that your hunger starts to slow down or starts to decrease or go down. You're going to notice that you don't want to eat as much. You're going to notice that maybe you're not losing as much and your weight kind of starts to taper off and it kind of stays level and you kind of plateau out. That's not always a signal that you should decrease your calories even more or do more cardio and just, you know what I mean? It sometimes is a signal that you should reverse diet and go back into a maintenance phase for a period of time. Just give your body what it needs, raise your metabolic rate, let your hormones get back in order, and then go back to that fat loss phase. So that is one time that you would go into a reverse or implement reverse dieting. It's when you've come out of a maintenance phase into a fat loss phase. You've been there for 12 weeks or more. Your body's kind of, your weight loss is tapering off. You've got some signals like your hunger cues aren't there like they should be and stuff like that. Then you would go into reverse dieting. The other reason is if you have not been eating the amount of calories that your body actually needs for a long period of time. You got to think about it, guys. We're busy. We got a lot going on. A lot of folks just don't know how many calories they're supposed to be taking in. When in the simple eating method training that I do, I actually have included a link to a total daily energy expenditure calculator, but you can look one up. Just type in TDEE calculator and you can type in your stats and it'll give you about how many calories you should be eating. And for a lot of you, you're going to be really blown away. Like, what? That's a ton of calories. And it's hard at first because a lot of folks associate eating more calories with gaining weight, right? Like if I eat more, I'm going to gain weight. Well, I want some of you to think about this. You've been eating less calories than your body should have, than your body has needed for a long period of time, yet maybe struggling with your weight. So is eating less calories really the best way to deal with this thing once and for all, right? The thing is, you have just been eating in a caloric deficit. You've been in a fat loss phase for far too long, focusing on trying to get the scale to move, eventually becoming terrified of the scale going up anymore. So you're like, I'm going to eat less. I'm going to not eat carbs. I'm going to do all these things. I'm pulling from this diet and that diet and this diet, and I'm putting my own like concoction of diet together. And, I feel like I have to restrict everything. I can't have any fun if I'm going to lose weight or keep the weight off and all that. And it's just not true. So now if you're going to do this the right way, well, and again, this is the same thing that we do in the 3 and 3 method on Team Fitison. It might be time for you to go into a maintenance phase, and that would be, again, a reason that you would implement reverse dieting, because that would help. That would be the steps that you take to get to maintenance calories. Okay. So how long are you going to be in a maintenance phase? This is hard to hear for a lot of folks, but let me preface it with this. The maintenance phase is about giving your body what it needs. It's about your health. Now, you can experience a lot of great things, a lot of great effects in a maintenance phase, building more muscle, right? Building more strength, having more energy, increasing metabolic rate, taking the stress off of the body, which is great hormonally. There's a lot of benefits to that maintenance phase. But if you've been in a caloric deficit for a long period of time, you want to give yourself anywhere from 3 to 6 to 8 months in a maintenance phase where you're not focused on losing fat and eating nothing, right? And what happens here, and this is really, guys, this is only for the folks that are done gaining and losing the same 10 to 20 pounds, right? Or 30 pounds. This is for the folks that are like, you know what? I want to do this the right way finally. So with that mindset, if you're not pressed to lose all the weight in 90 days, 30 days, whatever short term most folks are going for, if you're like, you know what, I'm just going to do it the right way, I'm going to be patient, I'm going to commit to this lifestyle, then you guys are probably going to be sticking around for this. But you want to give yourself the time, your body the time to adapt to having what it needs, to getting what it needs. When you do that, it makes the fat loss phase so much more productive. There's so many men and women that join Team Fitison, and we start them off in phase 1 of the free and free method, where we're focusing on restoring metabolism and restoring the body, getting it to work the way that it should have been for a long period of time, the way that it should, period, right? And they come to us and they're eating 1,200 calories, 1,500 calories, some less, right? Some in the hundreds, right? 800 or 900 calories. And we take them through this process of reverse dieting, have them spend, several weeks in a maintenance phase, and then we take them into the fat loss phase, which, mind you, 9 out of 10 people joining Team Fitison want to lose fat and have been struggling for years, right? They've been on and off of multiple diets. They've gained and lost the same weight, right? And have tried a lot of different things and they're just not working. And now they're trying to get their bodies to work right. And they've also probably been in the game for a while, because most of the folks we work with are 30, 35 and older. Like a lot of folks are in their 40s, right? So we take them into this maintenance phase, and then we take them into a fat loss phase. And it's so funny because people will be losing weight faster and more consistently than they were when they were eating at 1,000 calories. But now they're eating like 1,700 calories, 1,500 calories. They're eating 700 calories more than they were before, and losing a lot of weight. And it blows our mind, but it's funny because your performance is better, you feel better, you're losing weight, right? Like you're able to eat foods that you enjoy and still get great results. So it's a win-win on multiple different levels. So it works. It really does work, and it's not something that a lot of folks are teaching out there. But here in Fit Church USA and on Team Fitison, that's a big part of the method that we're using. Okay, now of course there's some adjustments that need to be made throughout the process, and we actually help with knowing how many calories to take in, when the proper time to adjust is, and stuff like that. But this is still something that you can start to implement. I encourage everybody, whether you decide to join Team Fitison, we've got the Black Friday special going out until November 30th, which I highly suggest you take advantage of that, because we've never done a deal that crazy before. But even if you do this on your own, this is something that you can implement. I highly suggest that you give yourself a period of time where you are eating at maintenance, so that your body can function the way that it should. It's very stressful for the body to be trying to figure out how to deal with the bare minimum, trying to figure out how to supply everything that your body has to supply to you in order to allow you to do what you do throughout the day, move and work and do this and do that, keep your organs functioning and all that, on minimal amount of calories, on less than what the body truly actually needs. You're gonna find that a whole slew of benefits start popping up. And you can actually, it's funny, listen to this, guys. A lot of folks, they start eating more and gradually increasing their calories. They start eating more frequently throughout the day. They're eating more calories. And guess what? Weight loss starts happening for a lot of folks. So this is not one of those things where you're going to go into a maintenance, or you're going to start reverse dieting and you're just going to blow up. 9 times out of 10, nobody blows up when they go into a reverse diet if they do it the right way, because it's a gradual process. What happens is that your body, the stress on your body starts to lull and go down. And therefore your body your metabolism speeds up, things start coming back in order, right? You create this environment of abundance, and hormones like norepinephrine, noradrenaline start to be secreted at a normal level, thyroid function increases, like all these things start coming into play again, and it results in fat loss. Bloating goes down, water retention goes down, that stress, that caloric deficit of you from you eating not a lot of food for whatever reason starts to go away, and it quite often results in fat loss. And that's not even the fat loss phase, right? It's beautiful. So what you're going to do in order to implement reverse dieting is that you're going to first figure out how many calories you should be eating, right? Again, go to Google, type in TDEE calculator, and just find one. It doesn't have to be perfect. They all go based off of a slightly different formula, but generally you're gonna get the idea. We're not gonna be nitpicking on macros and stuff like that. There's no need. Just get an idea of how many calories you need to be consuming on a daily basis if you were going to be trying to maintain your weight, okay? We know that for most of you guys, if you're working on fat loss, then obviously you're not trying to maintain your weight, but you are going to be going into a maintenance phase if you're going to implement reverse dieting. So what you need to figure out how high you can go without going into a surplus for your body. At first, it's going to be a little bit of a surplus for your metabolic rate, but there's a cap, there's a limit where you can increase your metabolism and your body can kind of account for the calories that you're taking in. It can adapt and adjust as you increase your calories. But then every person, based off of, again, height, weight, activity level, age, and stuff like that, there's this cap where your metabolic rate is only going to go but so high. You're only going to burn but so many calories. Therefore, you can only take in but so much food before you start taking in more calories than your metabolic rate can adapt to, right? And that's where we get into like bulking when you are just trying to put on mass, right? That's the goal. But for most of you guys, you're not trying to bulk. You are, however, going to put in on muscle because you're always a little bit higher than your metabolic rate because you're pulling it higher. So you're always going ahead of what your metabolic rate is. If your metabolic rate is 11, you're burning around 1,100 calories at rest because you tend to eat on average about 1,100 calories per day, and you're trying to get up to where you should be, which is 2,000 calories, whatever it is, you bump up to 1,300 calories for the first 2 weeks. And then you find that your weight kind of levels out, and then you bump up to 1,400 calories. You're gradually pulling your metabolism up to a higher level. You're always going to go a little bit above what it normally is, or what it is at that time. So that is really how you end up going about doing that. You figure out how many calories you're eating, figure out how many calories you should be eating, and then gradually in increments of, I would say, 100 or so, increase your calories and stick to that until you find your weight like levels out, right? That's one indicator that you can go based off of. So for example, that first week you say, okay, I'm going to do an initial jump of 200 calories to get things started. Okay, I've been eating at 1,000 calories. I need to at least be eating at 1,200. I'm going to go ahead and jump up to 1,200 calories. Cool. My weight went up a bit. I'm going to go ahead and keep eating at 1,200 calories. Don't freak out. I'm going to keep eating at 1,200 calories until my weight goes back down, or I find that, okay, I've been here for another week and my weight it hasn't gone up anymore. Cool. A lot of times your weight will go back down, or it'll start going down after a few days. Then you can increase, in increments of 100 or so. With the simple eating method, which if you the first 5 people who comment simple down below, I'm going to give you a copy of the simple eating method. I can't give it to everybody because it is something that's primarily for my clients, but I will give it to you guys for free. The first 5 that type simple in the comments. That will teach you a system that you can use so that you're not having to track all the time, right? Like nobody has time for that. So what you can do is actually figure out how many calories you need to be eating, create your little menu for yourself, and then just use tracking as as a planner more than anything else, and just kind of stick to the plan that you follow, that you've created for yourself, with some tools and rules for adjustments and adding in treat meals and stuff like that. So if you want that, just type simple in the comments and I'll share that with you guys. But that's reverse dieting, guys. It is a very, very useful tool for people who have been eating probably less than they think that they should, who've been working on fat loss for a very long time and can't remember the last time they actually ate the amount of calories that their bodies really need. And if you don't know how many calories you should be eating, or how, in order, what your maintenance calories are for your body based off of your lifestyle and age and all that, then I would say you need to go figure that out, right? And sometimes you can even like type in like, if you have a MyFitnessPal account, you can just go into like the goals section and then say that your goal is to maintain your weight, and it'll tell you how many calories you need to be eating. And sometimes you can just go based off of that, right? So guys, if you have questions on nutrition, on any questions that are related to the Free in 3 method or how we do things within Team Fittizen, if you need a bit of advice, let us know. Again, we're looking for 5 folks that really want to change their life, get into better shape, lose the weight for good, learn how to do it the right way. And we are going to hook them up with some pretty awesome bonuses because of our Black Friday special. One of them being that for the amount of months that you sign up for Team Fitison for the program, we actually tack on that many weeks on the house, right? So if you sign up for 4 months within Team Fitison, we give you 4 weeks you get a month for free. 6 months, we give you 6 weeks for free. 9, we give you 9 weeks for free. 12 months, we give you 12 weeks for free. So now you're getting 15 months of coaching, for only 12 months. So I'm excited. I hope this has helped you guys out, and let me know what else you guys want to hear about in the comments. All right, peace out.